Michael Jordan was banned from his own charity event. What happened behind the scenes will shock you. Michael Jordan leaned back in the black SUV, eyes scanning the manicured hedges of the Glenmont Ridge Country Club. The sun was setting over the horizon, casting long shadows across the golf carts and Bentleys parked along the drive. He adjusted the cuff of his jacket and gave a small nod to the driver. Tonight wasn't about basketball. It was about giving back. He stepped out, nodding to a few familiar faces on the walk up. This event had been months in the making. His foundation, co-founded and backed by his own money, was hosting a black-tie fundraiser to raise scholarships and gear for inner-city youth. There was a silent auction, a keynote, and the unveiling of a new youth training facility his team had spent a year developing. But something felt off. At the entrance, two men in black suits blocked his path. One of them held a clipboard and barely looked up before muttering, "Name?" Michael gave a slight smile. "Michael Jordan." The guard blinked. "You're not on the list." He paused. "It's my foundation." The man gave an awkward chuckle. "I hear you, sir, but I've got strict instructions. No exceptions." Jordan's smile faded. "Who gave those instructions?" The second man stepped forward, voice flat. "Damon Cross. He said to enforce the list. No walk-ins. Even VIPs." Michael's brow furrowed. The name was familiar. Damon had joined the board 6 months ago, a finance guy with a slick smile and a string of consulting gigs. Jordan had shaken his hand maybe twice. He was supposed to handle logistics. Background guy. Michael reached for his phone, but paused. He looked past the entrance, where suited donors sipped champagne under string lights. His own jersey hung framed near the back wall. And he was being denied entry. "No problem," Jordan said quietly. "You doing your job." He turned and walked away. Down the driveway, his driver jumped out, confused. "Everything good, Mr. Jordan?" Jordan didn't answer. He just got in the SUV, silent. A charity event he helped build, his name on the banners, his image in the promo videos, and somehow he'd been locked out. Inside, Damon Cross was glowing. He stood on stage, mic in hand, thanking donors with rehearsed charm. And none of this would be possible, he said, without the vision behind the foundation, what it represents. The grit, the heart, the hustle. No mention of Jordan. The audience clapped politely. Damon flashed a smile, then introduced the night's keynote speaker, a former NBA player turned analyst, one who had never played with Jordan and barely knew him. The whole thing had been hijacked. Out in the city, Jordan pulled up to a rundown high school gym on the south side. No cameras, no limos. Just kids shooting hoops and sneakers squeaking against the floor. It was here that the real work happened. The place where this whole idea had started years ago. He stepped inside quietly. A wiry teen named Jalen was practicing free throws, alone. One of the coaches, an older man named Coach Eddie, saw Jordan and walked over, his expression tight. "You got locked out, didn't you?" Jordan nodded once. "Yup." Eddie shook his head. Knew something was up when they pulled the invite for Jalen last minute. Said they were tightening the guest list. But we knew. Damon's playing power games. Jordan glanced over at Jalen. Kid's good. He was supposed to be the face of tonight's campaign. But Damon said he didn't fit the new brand image. Jordan's jaw clenched. He watched the kid sink another shot. Then another. "What's Damon's angle?" he asked. Eddie hesitated. "Same as always. Money. Power. He's been restructuring things behind the scenes. Cut your team out of major decisions. He wants to rebrand the foundation with a more polished image. Country club donors. Corporate backing. Not your South Side roots." Jordan let out a quiet breath. "He doesn't own this." "Technically," Eddie said, "he might." Jordan looked at him sharply. Eddie nodded. The board voted last month to give Damon operational control. He lobbied hard while you were overseas. Said it would streamline leadership. They didn't even realize what they signed off on. Jordan didn't speak for a long time. Then he walked to the baseline and picked up a ball. He passed it to Jalen. "You got a game tomorrow?" he asked. "Try out," Jalen said. "College scouts are coming." "Then let's work." They trained for an hour. Quiet drills. Repetition. Jordan showed him a few footwork tricks, corrected his balance, helped him find rhythm on his mid-range. It wasn't flashy, but it was focused. Afterward, as they sat on the bleachers, Jalen asked, "Why'd they cut me?" Jordan looked him in the eye. "They made a mistake. You're not the problem. You're the point." The boy nodded, unsure what that meant, but feeling its weight. Later that night, Jordan sat in his condo, lights off, watching a recording of Damon's speech someone had sent him. The man was smooth. Confident. He'd even started referring to the foundation as Crosshoops, a name change he hadn't cleared with anyone. Jordan rewound the tape, then deleted it. He wasn't going to get angry. He wasn't going to storm the boardroom. This would take strategy. He picked up the phone and called an old friend, Marty, a lawyer who'd helped him structure the original nonprofit. "We got a problem," he said. By morning, a plan was forming. Not to reclaim the spotlight, but to take the mission back to where it started. And if that meant tearing it down and building from scratch, so be it. Jordan wasn't done. Not by a long shot. The next morning, Jordan sat at a small table in a Chicago diner across from Marty Levin, the attorney who helped him build the foundation a decade ago. Marty's glasses were fogged from the coffee steam, and his fingers tapped the side of the mug like a metronome. "So, Damon restructured the board without notifying you?" Marty asked. Jordan nodded. "Slipped it through during an overseas trip. Got enough signatures to hand over decision-making power." "And you didn't contest it?" "Didn't even know. My team thought it was a standard budget approval." Marty sighed. "Legally, you're not out, but he's moved fast. Rebranded logos, renamed event materials, silenced the founding donors. You still have a legal case, but it won't be fast. He's setting himself up as the face." "I'm not looking for a courtroom," Jordan said. "I want to hit him where it counts, his image." Marty leaned back. "You thinking public?" "I'm thinking truth. I want the original mission back in front of people. The kids. The families. The city. You'll need to move fast." He's hosting another press event at the end of the week, expansion announcement. "Probably planning to fully erase your name." Jordan nodded once. "Then we've got 4 days." By that afternoon, Jordan's condo turned into mission control. Eddie, the streetball legend Ty Switch Davis, and a few former scholarship kids, now grown, gathered in the living room. Damon's banking on status, Jordan told them. He's turned this into a tax-sheltered brand move. Glossy photos, fake promises, empty speeches. "And we're what? Gonna call a press conference?" Ty asked. Jordan shook his head. "No. We're going to show what the real foundation looks like. We'll throw our own event. Same night. No tuxedos, no country club nonsense. We take it to the South Side. Rec Center. Free admission. Invite the families. Bring the kids back. Let them see what Damon cut out." Eddie nodded slowly. "Back to the roots." Ty grinned. "I'll bring the noise." By the next day, phones were ringing, word was spreading. Coaches, local mentors, even former beneficiaries stepped up to help. Volunteers cleaned out the old courts at Henderson Rec, food trucks committed. Gear sponsors returned after hearing Jordan was back in. Meanwhile, Jordan trained with Jalen at the gym. The kid had speed but rushed his decisions. Jordan focused on the basics: control, calm under pressure, footwork, timing. You don't beat them by being louder, Jordan told him. You beat them by knowing the floor better than they do. At the same time, Damon Cross was tightening his grip. At his office, he reviewed the final layout for the expansion campaign. New branding. New logo. A new slogan, Elevate with Cross. Looks clean, his assistant said. Everything's set for the Friday press event. Jordan won't do anything, Damon replied. Even if he tries, I've got the press, the donors, and the board locked down. He's a symbol. I'm the system. Back on the south side, the rec center came alive. Volunteers taped posters, painted signs, and organized 3 courts for youth tournaments. A stage was rigged from plywood and scaffolding. Jordan helped assemble the backboards himself. It wasn't glamorous. That was the point. Switch Davis took over the mic. This ain't about fame. This is about fire. About remembering why we laced up in the first place. The night before the event, Jordan sat with Jalen and a few other kids. You nervous? He asked. Jalen shrugged. A little. You should be, Jordan said. Pressure means it matters. Jalen looked over. Why are you doing all this? You could walk away. Jordan didn't answer right away. Because Damon didn't steal my name. He stole yours. Yours, and every kid's name who never got invited because they weren't marketable. He used my face to build a lie. Now we tear it down with truth. That same night, a video clip leaked online. A short, unpolished message from Jordan shot inside the gym. This isn't about revenge. It's about remembering. The Real Foundation was never mine, it was theirs. You want to see what that looks like? Show up tomorrow. No ticket required. The clip spread fast. By Friday morning, Damon's PR team was scrambling. What's the plan? His assistant asked, eyes glued to Twitter trends. We ignore it, Damon said. It's just noise. But he knew better. At 6 p.m., the Glenmont Ridge event opened. Waiters passed hors d'oeuvres. Cameras flashed. Damon took center stage in a navy suit, smiling for donors. He adjusted the mic, began his speech. Halfway through, phones buzzed around the room. Live streams. Across town, thousands had shown up at Henderson Rec. Kids filled the courts. Coaches ran clinics. Jordan stood at midcourt, not as a celebrity, but as a leader reclaiming his message. Jalen stepped onto the court in front of hundreds and played like he'd never played before. Calm. Precise. Fearless. The game between Jalen's squad and another top local team was intense. Jalen's crossover sent one defender spinning. His last-second jumper sealed the win. The crowd went wild. Ty jumped on the mic, praising the kid, praising the future. At the Glenmont event, donors started slipping out. One by one. By the time Damon reached his big announcement, half the room was empty. The news was out, Jordan's name was back on people's lips. And no one was cheering for crosshoops anymore. Back at Henderson, Jordan shook hands, hugged old coaches, signed sneakers, but made no speech. Instead, he walked behind the stage and watched Jalen from a distance. Eddie joined him. You pulled it off, Eddie said. Jordan gave a faint smile. This isn't the end. No. But it's the beginning again. At that moment, a reporter approached. She held up a mic. Michael, do you have any comment for Damon Cross? Jordan looked past her, eyes on the court. Yeah, he said. I hope he enjoyed the country club. He turned and walked away. The morning after the Southside event, headlines were everywhere. Jordan reclaims his foundation with powerful community event. While Damon Cross hosts gala, real impact happens across town. Jalen Carter steals spotlight at Jordan Back basketball showcase. The footage from the rec center had gone viral. Kids cheering. Families crying. Jalen sinking the game winner. Jordan helping sweep the court after the event. It wasn't glossy, but it was real. That hit people differently. At a downtown office, Damon Cross sat at the head of a long glass table. His PR team was quiet. The expansion campaign had tanked overnight. Donors were withdrawing pledges. One even asked for their donation back. "I want spin," Damon said, pacing. "I want press releases, social posts. Say the South Side thing was an extension of our program." One assistant cleared his throat. "Michael already went public. Said he has no affiliation with your campaign. Said you distorted the foundation's purpose." Another added, "The board wants an emergency meeting. Some of them are reconsidering your position." Damon clenched his jaw. "They gave me control." "Technically," the assistant said, "they gave you temporary authority to streamline logistics. But Michael still owns the trademark, the founding rights, and we found something else." He handed over a folder. Damon opened it. His face dropped. "Where did this come from?" "Jordan's legal team. They've got signed testimonies from donors, staff, and board members. They say you manipulated voting procedures and misled people about where the money was going. You could be facing a fraud investigation." Damon stood frozen. Back at Henderson Rec, Jordan sat with Marty and a few local organizers. The place still buzzed from the night before. "We've got momentum now," one volunteer said. "Sponsors are calling us, wanting to back the original mission again." Jordan nodded. "Let's keep it clean. No drama. No revenge tours. Just the work." Marty slid a folder across the table. Damon folded. "He officially stepped down this morning. The board reinstated your leadership. You could sue if you wanted: defamation, misuse of funds, even IP theft." Jordan pushed the folder back. "Let it go." "You sure?" "Yeah. He tried to turn this into his stage. That's already collapsed." At that moment, Jalen walked in, holding a letter. "Coach," he said, "I got in." Jordan took the paper. It was a full scholarship offer. The same college Damon once said wouldn't be interested in kids without polish. Jordan smiled. "You earned it." The rec center exploded in cheers later that night when Jalen shared the news. Coaches and kids hoisted him up. A few reporters showed up too, but Jordan kept his distance from the cameras. Later, Jalen found him by the court. "You ever think about quitting?" Jalen asked. Jordan gave a half-smile. "Yeah. Plenty of times. But you don't leave your name in someone else's mouth." Jalen nodded. "Thanks for fighting for us." Jordan clapped a hand on his shoulder. "Now you fight for the next one." 2 weeks later, a small press conference was held, not at a fancy venue, but at the rec center. Folding chairs. Local news. No big stage. Just Jordan, some board members, and a few kids from the program. Jordan stepped up to the mic. He didn't give a speech. Just a few sentences. "This foundation was never about one person. It's about where you start and who helps you keep going. We lost our way for a bit, but we're back. And we're not going anywhere." Applause followed, not thunderous, but warm and steady. In the weeks that followed, things changed. The foundation dropped all ties to Damon's branding. They launched a new youth-led initiative called Baseline, focused on mentorship, sports, and community development. Jordan refused to take a salary or public spotlight. He showed up, helped where needed, and spent most of his time on the courts. Damon disappeared from the public eye. Rumors swirled that he left the country, but no one really cared anymore. The spotlight had moved on, back where it belonged. As for Jalen, he went on to become the youngest starter at his new college. His first televised game, he wore black and red sneakers with a small number 23 stitched into the tongue. A quiet tribute. No shout-outs. Just respect. That same night, Jordan sat at home watching the game alone. He leaned back, smiled, and turned the TV off before the final buzzer. Later that year, the foundation broke ground on a new facility in the same South Side neighborhood where it all began. This time, it wasn't named after anyone famous. Just a sign out front. The People's Gym. Funded by everyone who believes in the next kid up. On the first day it opened, a group of kids waited outside the door, bouncing basketballs and talking trash about who could dunk. Jordan showed up quietly, hoodie on, coffee in hand. He unlocked the gym himself. As the doors swung open, he simply said, "Let's play." And that was it. The drama had passed. The cameras were gone. The damage was repaired, not with lawsuits or press, but with purpose. Michael Jordan didn't win back his name with noise. He won it with action. And in doing so, gave it to the people who needed it most.